Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudite Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhagavati Naishtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, today starting new chapter, chapter 17, Lord Krishna's description of the Varnashram system. Text 1 onwards. Shri Uddhavovacha yastvya abhihitah purvam dharmastvad bhakti lakshana varnashrama charvatam charvatam sarvesham dvipadam api yathanushthiya manena Tvai bhaktir nirnam bhavet swadharmena arvindaksha tanma makhya tum arhasi. Shri Uddhav said, My dear Lord, previously you described the principles of devotion service that are to be practiced by the followers of Varnashram system and even ordinary unregulated human beings. My dear Lotus-eyed Lord, now please explain to me how all human beings can achieve loving service unto you by execution of the prescribed duties. So previous chapter, Krishna described his opulences, and now Uddhavji is asking about Varnashram system. Lord Krishna has already elaborately explained the process of Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga. Now Uddhav inquires how those inclined toward Karma Yoga can achieve the perfection of life, Krishna consciousness. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes that he is personally the creator of the Varnashram system. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. Therefore, the ultimate goal of the Varnashram system is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, one should become a devotee of the Lord and learn the process of pure devotional service. The easiest method of achieving pure devotional service is by the association of pure devotees of the Lord. If one submissively and faithfully associates with pure devotees, one can immediately achieve the perfection of life. A Krishna conscious person is not required to execute all the formalities of the Varnashram system, because a Krishna conscious person absorbed in love of Godhead automatically gives up all sense gratification and mental speculation. Those human beings who do not follow the Varnashram system are here referred to as Dvipadam, or two-legged. In other words, one who does not follow the religious path of life is known to be human only by the possession of two legs. The two-legged animal. Even ordinary animals and insects are eagerly engaged in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The human being, however, is distinguished from such lower forms of life by his capacity to become religious and ultimately to love God in pure Krishna consciousness. So Varnashram system is a good system for the society, for the proper upkeep, maintenance, and for the society and for people to make gradual progress in bhakti. But one who is doing bhakti, he does not need to follow. Even if it doesn't follow all the formalities, it's okay. He follows just to set an example. But for him, Varnashram system is not that important. Because ultimately he has to do his bhakti to please Krishna. Ultimately everything is to please Krishna. Pura kil mahabahu dharmam parmakam prabho yattena hansa rupena brahmane abhyat madhva saidanim su mahata kalena mitra karshana na prayo bhavita martya loke prag anushasita. My dear Lord, O mighty Ambha, previously in the form of Lord Hansa, you spoke to Lord Brahma those religious principles that bring supreme happiness to the practitioner. My dear Madhav, how much time has passed that which you previously instructed will soon practically cease to exist, the subduer of the enemy. Vakta karta vitananyo dharmasya chutte bhuvi sabhayam api varentyam yatra murti dhara kala kartra vitra pravaktra cha bhavata madhusudana tyakte mahitale deva vinashtam ka pravakshati. My dear Lord Achyuta, there is no speaker, creator, and protector of supreme religious principles other than your Lordship, either on the earth or even the assembly of Lord Brahma, where the personified Vedas reside. Thus, my dear Lord Madhusudan, when you, who are the very creator, protector, and speaker of spiritual knowledge, abandon the earth, who will again speak this lost knowledge? So he is eager to hear all this so that all this knowledge is kept intact. Tattvam nan sarva dharmagya dharmastvad bhakti lakshana yatha yasya vidhiyeta tatha varnaya me prabhu. Therefore, my Lord, since you are the knower of all religious principles, please describe to me the human beings who may execute the path of loving service to you and how such service is to be rendered. Shri Shukvacha, Ittam Svabhritya Mukhena, Prishtas Bhagwan Hari, Prita Kshemaya Martyanam, Dharmana Sanatana. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Shri Uddhav, the best of devotees, thus inquired from the Lord. Hearing his question, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, was pleased, and for the welfare of all conditioned souls, spoke those religious principles that are eternal, Sanatana. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha, Dharmya Esha Eva Prashno, Nashreyasa Karovan Vranam, Varnashram Charvatam, Tamuddhav Nibodhame. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Uddhav, your question is faithful to religious principles and thus gives rise to the highest perfection in life, pure devotional service, for both ordinary human beings and the followers of the Varnashram system. Now please learn from me those supreme religious principles. So these are the supreme religious principles, and this is what Krishna said, Dharma. This is a real dharma. That's one should understand, one should learn. The word Nashreyasya Kara indicates that which awards the highest perfection of life, Krishna consciousness, which the Lord is explaining to Shri Uddhav. When considering religious principles, ordinary human beings remain bogged down in sectarian, mundane considerations. The process that awards the highest perfection of life should be considered the most auspicious for human beings. The Varnashram system is the most scientific presentation of religiosity on the earth. And those who are most perfect in that system come to the point of Krishna consciousness, or dedicating everything for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. So this is why Varnashram system. It's first of all, it's most scientific, and the perfect person who follows it, he comes to the level of Krishna consciousness. And it is said that one who follows Varnashram system perfectly for 100 lifetimes, then he becomes the next Brahma. He comes to the position of Brahmaji. So just by following, even if one is a Shudra, Varnashram system is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So even if somebody is Shudra for 100 lifetimes, if he follows it perfectly, then he can become Brahmaji next life. Adav krita yuge varno nirnam hansiti smrita krita kritya praja jatya tasmat krita yugam viduhu. In the beginning, in Satyuga, there's only one social class called Hansa, to which all human beings belong. In that age, all people are unalloyed devotees of the Lord from birth, and thus learned scholars call this first age Krita Yuga, or the age in which all religious duties are perfectly fulfilled. So that was Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga. It is understood from this verse that the supreme religious principle is unalloyed surrender to the supreme personality of Godhead. In Satya Yuga, there is no influence of the lower modes of nature, and therefore all human beings belong to the highest social order called Hansa, in which one comes under the direct supervision of the personality of Godhead. In the modern age, people are crying out for social equality, but unless all human beings are situated in the mode of goodness, which is the position of purity and unalloyed devotion, social equality is not possible. As the lower modes of nature become prominent, secondary religious principles arise, by which people may be gradually elevated to the pure stage of unalloyed surrender to God. In Satyuga, there are no inferior human beings, and thus there is no need of secondary religious principles. Everyone directly takes to the unalloyed service of the Lord, fulfilling perfectly all religious obligations. In Sanskrit, one who perfectly executes all duties is called the Krit Kritya, as mentioned in this verse. Therefore, Satyuga is called Krit Yuga, or the age of perfect religious action. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the word Ado in the beginning refers to the moment of universal creation. In other words, the Varnashram system is not a recent concoction, but naturally arises at the time of creation and should therefore be accepted by all intelligent human beings. So Varnashram system, not the caste system. Caste system is perversion of the real Varnashram system that is established by Krishna himself. So Varnashram system, as we know, it has Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Sannyasi, Vanprasthi, Grihas, and Brahmacharis. So Varnashram system, as Krishna explained, is based on Guna Karma Vibhakasha, based on what qualities one has, and based on the work one does, not based on birth. The caste system is based on birth, not the Varnashram system. It's the wrong understanding and wrong implementation of Varnashram system that has given rise to the caste system, which is completely wrong. But in Satya Yuga, as it is said, there was only one class, Hansa. Hansa, as we know, what a Hans does. Hans or Swan, what he does is if we give him a mixture of milk and water, he will drink the milk and leave the water. He has that quality. So Hansa class means of human beings, it's not about milk and water, it's about they understand the essence of everything, which is Krishna consciousness. So they use everything in service of Krishna, and that's it. They give away all the Mayic influence. So that's why it is said, the unalloyed surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this was their nature. This is what they did. Even if they were kings and Kshatriya and the Brahmins and Vaishyas and Shudras, but they all were completely serving the Lord. They knew what's the essence of life. That was Satya Yuga. So slowly, because with time everything goes down. Our mind is ready to go down to the lower modes of nature. And after Satya Yuga comes Treta, then Dwapar, then the best of the yugas, Kali Yuga that we are in. The lower modes of nature become prominent. And what is more surprising is going down is okay, it's easy, naturally it happens. But from Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga is going to come after Kali Yuga is over. That is a big transition. But this is how it's been designed. This is how it's been going on, and this is what's going to happen. So Satya Yuga, this is what Krishna described. This is what used to happen in Satya Yuga. Veda pranav evagre dharmo aham amrish rup drik upasate tapo nishtha hansam ma mukta kilbisha. In Satya Yuga, the undivided Veda is expressed by the syllable Om, and I am the only object of mental activities. I become manifest as a four-legged bull of religion, and thus the people of Satyuga, fixed in austerity and free from all sins, worship me as Lord Hamsa. So Satyuga, the people used to live for at least 100,000 years. The main process of realization was meditation. They would go do meditation 30, 40, 50, 60,000 years. No problem. And they would achieve perfection. And Krishna says, I become manifest as four-legged bull of religion. And the Yuga avatar was Hansa avatar. The bull of religion is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tapa shocham daya satyam iti pada krite krita. In the age of Satyuga, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Tapa shocham daya satyam. Shri Vyasadeva divided the one Veda into four, the Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Atharva Vedas at the end of Dwapar Yuga. But in Satya Yuga, the whole of Vedic knowledge is easily understood by everyone simply by vibrating the syllable Om. Can we believe that? Just by vibrating, chanting Om, they could understand the whole Vedic knowledge. Means this has whole Vedic knowledge. It just, we are so unfortunate, we cannot get anything out of Om. In this age, there are no ritualistic or pious activities such as sacrifice. Everyone is sinless, austere, and fully engaged in worshipping the personality of Godhead, Lord Hamsa, through the process of meditation. So then came Treta Yuga. Treta mukhe mahabhaga pranan me hridyatrayi vidya pradurbhutasya aham masam trivrin mukha. O greatly fortunate one, at the beginning of Treta Yuga, Vedic knowledge appeared from my heart, which is the abode of the air of life, in three divisions as Rig, Sam, and Yajur. Then from that knowledge, I appeared as threefold sacrifice. In Treta Yuga, the bull of religion loses one leg, and only 75% of religious principles are manifested, represented by the three principal Vedas, Rig, Sam, and Yajur. The Lord appears in the process of threefold Vedic sacrifice. The three divisions are understood as follows. The Hota priest offers oblations into the fire and chants the Rig Veda. The Udgata priest chants the Samveda, and Adhvaryu priest, who arranges the sacrificial ground, altar, etc., chants the Yajur Veda. In Treta Yuga, such sacrifice is the authorized process for spiritual perfection. The word Pranat in this verse refers to the universal form of the personality of Godhead. This form is further described in the following verses. So in Treta Yuga, the bull of religion loses one leg. So four legs were Tapa, Shocham, Daya, Satyam. So he loses Tapa. Shocham, Daya, and Satyam are left in Treta Yuga. And Krishna appears as the Lord of Sacrifice. Viprakshatriya Vit Shudra Mukh Bahur Upadaja Vairajat Purusha Jata Ya Atma Atma Char Lakshana. In Treta Yuga, the four social orders were manifested from the universal form of the personality of God. The Brahmins appeared from the Lord's face, the Kshatriyas from the Lord's arms, the Vaishyas from the Lord's thighs, and the Shudras from the legs of that mighty form. Each social division was recognized by its particular duties and behavior. Grihashram Jaganato Brahmacharyam Hrido Mama Bakshasthalad Vane Vasa Sannyasa Shirasi Sthita. The married order of life appeared from the loins of my universal form, and the celibate students came from my heart. The forest-dwelling retired order of life appeared from my chest, and the renounced order of life was situated within the head of my universal form. So forest-dwelling retired order means the one prasthas. There are two classes of brahmachari life. The Naishthika brahmachari remains celibate throughout life, whereas the Upakurvana brahmachari marries upon finishing his student life. One who remains perpetually celibate is situated within the heart of Lord Krishna. But those brahmacharis who eventually marry are situated within the loins of the universal form of the Lord. The word Vanevasha refers to Vanaprastha, or the retired order of life, which is situated on the chest of the Lord. So not to misunderstand the position of Grihasthas, because brahmacharis, it is also said that properly trained brahmachari becomes a proper Grihastha, because then he understands what's the goal of life and how to carry on with the goal of life. Not to just get stuck in Grihastha ashram and then it's not even Grihastha, it's Grimedi ashram, and just remain as it is. No. So some and from Grihastha ashram comes all the other ashrams. New brahmacharis are going to come from Grihastha ashram, and the Grihasti, when he becomes old and he retires, becomes Vanaprasthi and takes sannyas. So every ashram is dependent on Grihastha ashram. Varna nama shramanam cha janma bhumya anusarini asan prakritayo nrinam nichar nichottamaha. The various occupational and social divisions of human society appeared according to inferior and superior natures, manifest in the situation of individuals' birth. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Brahmins and Sannyasis, being situated on the head of the universal form of the Lord, are considered to be the most qualified, whereas the Shudras and Grihasthas, being on the legs or loins of the personality of Godhead, are considered to be in the lowest position. A living entity is born with a certain amount of intelligence, beauty, and social opportunity, and he is therefore situated in a particular occupational and social position within the Varnashram system. Ultimately, such positions are external designations, but since the majority of human beings are conditioned by the external energy of the Lord, they should act according to the scientific Varnashram divisions until they reach the stage of Jivan Mukta, or liberated life. So either Shudras or Grihasthas, it is said they are considered to be in the lowest position. That is from Varnashram standard, not from Bhakti standard. Anybody can be a devotee. Not even Shudra, lower than Shudras, even Chandals and Yamans and Malechas. They can be bhaktas also. They can become devotees also. Anybody can chant the holy name of the Lord. So this system is for the proper social upkeep of the society. So society can function properly if everybody follows this system. And when the society is running smoothly, peacefully, then everybody can engage themselves in the service of the Lord. If the Brahmins are proper Brahmins, taking care of the society by giving them the proper knowledge of scriptures, then everybody gets benefited. And if the Brahmins are performing the yagyas and giving knowledge, and Kshatriyas are administrating properly everything according to the scriptures, and Vaishyas are taking care of cows and agriculture and business without any making undue profits, without any greed, then the society would be so nicely maintained, and everybody can make progress spiritually. And Shudras, see, in all these movies and other places, it's wrongly depicted that the higher caste would beat up Shudras or would exploit them. No, Shudras means they would serve every other class, upper classes. Because this is a nature and this is the quality. So, but in serving the other class doesn't mean they would exploit. Doesn't mean Shudras are untouchables. That is wrong. Nowhere it is mentioned in the scriptures. If Shudra is going to come in the house and is going to take care of washing the clothes or washing the house or take care of animals or cooking and this or that, how are they untouchables? If the Brahmins are eating whatever the Shudras are cooking or cleaning, they're taking care of their clothes or massaging them, then how are they untouchables? That is wrongly shown in movies, and maybe some places it happened. But if it happened, it was wrong, completely wrong, not according to scriptures. But this is how it is shown. Maybe political reasons it is shown like that, just to take votes and become powerful. But Varnashram system, perfectly organized system, designed system by the Lord, we mess it up anyway, everything. This is the position of Kali Yuga. Anyway, so I guess we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept.
Hare Krishna, Mother, please accept. I thought she was going to ask questions. She left. Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri.